Hello everyone, this is Rupanshi Pruthi from India and you're watching Mission Economics. As we all know that today India is facing a little bit tough time as we have lost the real gem of this nation, Shri Ratan Tata. He was an iconic industrialist of India. Our feed is full of videos watching him, listening him, watching his deeds, but deep down our heart is not ready to accept that he has left us for the heavenly abode. So this video is just a small tribute for him. Sri Ratan Tata. He was not a person, he was an emotion for India. Everybody knows him for the philanthropic works he have done or the charity he has done. But very few people know that he has contributed to India, to our country, in a more significant way. It was the Tata Group who led India on the path of industrialization. Not any leader, not any policy, not any government. In 1909, India set up its first iron and steel company that is known as the TISCO, and it was the vision of Jamshedji Tata that India or our country should have its own steel and iron plant. In 1909, when India have not got the freedom even, when our leaders could not think of that what the country needs, and we were striving to get freedom, then this group has set up its own steel and iron industry. And Sri Ratan Tata, who was a part of Tata family, forwarded this legacy very well. Sri Ratan Tata was born in Tata family on 28 December 1937 from Naval Tata and Suno Tata. Though Naval Tata was not an inherited child of Tata family, but Nawajbai Seth, grandmother of Sri Ratan Tata ji, adopted Naval Tata as his son. But later on, when Ratan Tata ji was just 7 years old, his parents got divorced. His life was not very smooth as that of other children. After his parents got divorced, Sri Ratan Tata ji was adopted by his grandmother, Sri Nawajbai Seth Tata. Very few people know that Sri Nawajbai Seth has also directed Tata Group when she became widowed at the age of 41. So, from there, she impacted the life of Ratan Tata ji a lot. Sri Ratan Tata did his earlier schooling in Shimla and then went to Cathedral School in Mumbai. After that, he shifted to Riverdale School in New York City. He left his home very early. At the age of 25, he graduated from the Cornell University with the degree in architecture and structural engineering. And after completing his degree, he got a decent job in New York. In the mid 20s, like any other guy with a decent job and a decent degree, he found his first love of life and decided to get settled. But destiny has some bigger plans for him. It was the time when Indo-China war was going on and his grandmother was also not keeping well. So seeing these conditions, he has to come back to India, leaving his happy life behind. Though being a most eligible bachelorette of his time, he couldn't marry. He admitted in an interview that he tried to marry 4 times in his life, but unfortunately, it didn't work well since he was having a fear of not getting involved in attachments. So that's why he couldn't marry. He never let his personal struggles affect his professional life. Even belonging to a very rich family, he started his career working on the shop floor of the Tata Group, working with supervisors and workers. And there he learned a lot. In 1991, J.R.D. Tata found him the most suitable person to lead Tata Group as a chairman. So he appointed Sri Ratan Tata as the chairman of the Tata Sons in 1991. You would be surprised to know that under his leadership, not only Tata Group, but also India has attained a new heights. He presented India on a global stage with its own automobile, steel, and information technology company. He introduced at international level the Tata Consultancy Services, Tata Steel, and Tata Motors. Being economist, when we only talk about industrialization and technological capabilities, he was the person who turned vision into reality. He taught us the difference between being an industrialist and being a business person. From Tata Salt to Zudio to Tanishq and to Tata Motors, he well understood the needs of an average Indian family and contributed well, worked hard to bring happiness to their lives. Tata is not a company, Tata is a belief for India. In one of his interviews, he was asked that being in honor of more than 96 companies at present, some international, some national, and the most wealthiest business person of this country, we have never seen your name under the list of the most wealthiest or the richest business person of this country. Why so? He humbly replied that I am not a businessman, I am an industrialist. And that is why calling him a business person would be a huge disrespect. He taught us that in the present times, in the present century, when there is a cutthroat competition in the market, still a business can be done in the most ethical manner, in the most with the most integrity, in the most ethical manner. How can we earn by placing the consumer interest at the top? Apart from being an iconic industrialist, Shri Ratan Tata has set up a very graceful example of living life before us with humanity, kindness, and integrity. During the COVID times, he donated 1500 crore rupees for the COVID relief. He was the person who allowed the street dogs to enter the Taj Hotel. He was the person who doesn't know how to spend money on himself but donated 65% of its wealth among people for the noble causes. I remember when I went to foreign country for the very first time to present my work, I asked one of my fellow workers that why the infrastructure is not so developed in your country, and or why I could see a lot of Toyotas in your country. Even a cab driver is having Toyota. What's the reason behind that? You won't imagine that what he answered, and I was so surprised at that moment. He just said that we don't have that one person in our country that you have, that India has. That is the Tata. I wish we could have one Tata in our country one day. He said that we don't have that person who could bring so much industrialization in our country. I wish we could have our Tata as well, so that we don't have to import the cars from other countries, or we don't have to rely on some other countries or some other MNCs for steel, iron industry. And this was a thing that really touched my heart. He taught us that success doesn't come with wealth, but with the value we add to the society. Don't know whether India would have another Ratan Tata in future or not. We can just learn some life lessons he taught us and live our life accordingly. No words are enough to express thanks to that person who did so much for this country. He was, in a true sense, is Desh ki dhadkan, a big tribute to Sri Ratan Tata.